When you're weary, feeling small, when tears are in your eyes, I will dry them off. I'm on your side. Oh, when darkness comes and friends just can't be found. When friends just can't be found, sweetie. I know, that's us. Hey, but Zagame's here. Now we found one. Zagame's here. Well, there's a friend. Hey, BOOZHOO. Let's get a gold star for Zagame. Zagame says, yeah, I'm golden. Yeah, you are. Zagame's here. You know what would make this show complete? What's that? If Wally Bear came by. Hey, look down there. What? Wally Bear. How did you know we were getting together this morning? Silver star for Wally Bear? BOOZHOO, Wally Bear. How's it going, man? 1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the podcast called BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO. The live stream podcast about Ojibwe language and Ojibwe culture. I am NANABOOZHOO. This is Natasha. BOOZHOO. This is Michael Lyons. Hi everyone, welcome to the show. And yeah, let's get the show on the road. Get the show on the road. Got a big live show on Monday. I know. Why did we agree to do that? Because we're stupid. Now I'm all nervous. We got a live stream. I mean, who cares? I do live streams for free and I can't wait to do it. They invite me to do a live stream for a conference. They pay me for it. And now I'm nervous. Well, what's the worst that can happen? It's ridiculous and stupid. And we actually do damage to our brand. To our brand? What do you mean? Well, like if we really screw it up, then everybody who sees us at that Zoom thing will go, oh yeah, when they hear NANABOOZHOO, like, oh yeah, I know what that is. It was that weirdo with his puppets. Yeah, okay. Flat Stuff Earth knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. BOOZHOO, Flat Stuff. Oh, Flat Stuff wants his bronze star. Bronze star for Flat Stuff. Way to go, Mr. Third in line. And the fourth place, beryllium star. Can we get a beryllium star for Labium Onagoshin? Sclebium. Sclebium. Sclebium Onagoshin. It's the beryllium star, sweetie. Okay. How you doing? Illuminati unveiled, says Flat Stuff Earth. Is the Illuminati getting unveiled, sweetie? I don't know. They've had that pyramid on the back of the dollar bill forever. Yeah, I know. Everyone's always kind of known about the Illuminati or the Freemasons. But nobody wants to talk about it. Even Bemidji had a free Masonic lodge. I think they still have a meeting place. But they used to have like one of these grand lodges with a throne in it. The checkerboard floor and all this creepy satanic stuff. Oh, we're the Freemasons. No. We're a charity organization or something. We're just a group of men who meet in secret and pull the levers of control on the world. Just never mind what we do here. Freemasons. We're free. You know my theory about the Freemasons, all right? That they discovered all the buildings? Yeah. The Washington and Jefferson and all the founding fathers. They call them founding because they came here and they found a bunch of buildings that were already built. I can't explain how this works with Native American history, but all the old churches and cathedrals and everything, the bridges, they came here and they went, what? Somebody's been here already, and they built all these massive, huge, beautiful cathedrals and stuff. And we found it. We're the founding fathers. We found this masonry for free. And they went and they wrote all this history books, and they took over the government, and they orchestrated a huge deception and took credit for building America when America was already 50% had been built and then abandoned years earlier. Is my theory. Is a theory I saw on YouTube. It's hardly a theory I came up with. No. So what are we doing today, sweetie? Do you want to teach the word for Saturday? We could start that way. Gazibigi, saginage, gijagut, floor. You know, I couldn't even be bothered to fix this, sweetie. What's wrong with us? I don't know. Gazibigi, saginage, gijagut, floor washing day, or Saturday. Gazibigi, saginage, gijagut, floor washing day, sweetie. Should we wash the floor? I think we need to. That floor is pretty gross. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose we better do that today. Wash the floors on a Saturday. It is the traditional way. If you want to walk the red road, this is what you do on Saturdays. And it snowed last night. Gizogipon dibekong. Dibekong last night. Gizogipon, it snowed. Winter is on. Winter has arrived. Though the weather outside is winter, the fire's a green screen thing. And la-di-da-da-da-da, let it snow, let it snow, let it zogipon. Gizogipon dibekong. It snowed last night. Was that the phrase from yesterday? Yeah. Why are we teaching it again? It's a review day. Saturday is a Ojibwe language review. You know, we can't expect people to have like perfect memory of everything that they hear. And I couldn't be bothered to look up a new phrase. You know what? I can't stress myself out. Oh, Zagame just gave us $20, sweetie. No way! Say, Miigwech, Zagame! Yeah, thank you so much. That's really sweet of you. We appreciate that. You see that, rest of you BOOZHOO crew freeloaders? That's how a super chat works. That's when you want to help support our show. Keep the lights on in this place. Keep the fire, you know, firewood ain't cheap. Yeah, it isn't. No, it is. Or whatever. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Miigwech, Zagame, we appreciate it. So now I feel like I want to do something for Zagame. Should we dedicate a song to her? We could dedicate a song to Zagame. This song is dedicated to Zagame. It is by a band called... there's a thing you have to understand about Zagame. Zagame is number one. I'm pretty sure it's female. Yeah, I think so too. I think we talked on the... I get Zagame confused with one other person, but Zagame's got a big old broken heart. And she grew up in the 90s when every time her heart would break, she'd put on this album by a band called Coldplay. And even though her friends teased her for liking Coldplay, she didn't care. Because she knew that they understood. Zagame is just trying to fix people. You know, so this is for Zagame, and it's Fix You. When you try your best but you don't succeed. When you get what you want but not what you need. When you feel so tired but you can't sleep. Stuck in reverse. And tears come streaming down your face. When you lose something you can't replace. Would you love someone but it goes to waste? Could it be worse? Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you. High above or down below. When you're too in love to let it go. When you never try, you'll never know just what you're worth. Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones. I will try to fix you. Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you. Oh. Sweetie, that is such a beautiful song. Oh, get out of here. I mean it. Ladies and gentlemen, Natasha. The lovely and the talented. Ah, you're going to make me blush. And that was for our friend Zagame, for her very generous super chat. And Jessica Waboose is here. Hey, BOOZHOO, Mino Giga Jabe. To Jesse Rabbit. I heard the alert. It actually made me get out of bed. I've been snoozing my alarm for half an hour. Get out of bed. You're a rabbit. You guys are supposed to be up and at 'em. She says, I will humbly accept the turd as it's my fault for not being on time. Oh, no. Is she feeling bad for being late? Yeah, she's in fifth. That's okay, Jessica. Can we get a turd emoji next to Jessica's name? No, I'm not going to put a turd by her name. It's the only way she'll learn. No, I'm not doing that. How you doing? Yeah, let's see. Oh, my love. Wally Bear says, when I lived in Kansas City, I used to ride with other moto bloggers. The moto bloggers. What's a moto blogger, sweetie? Well, that'd be like a motor vehicle blogger. Oh, motor blogger. Like a travel guy? Like Gabby Petito and her murderous suicidal boyfriend? Yeah. What was his name? Laundry? Yeah. You guys forgot all about that, didn't you? Right before Alec Baldwin went on his killing spree, there was a maybe fake news story about some moto bloggers. They said. I had never heard of them. I didn't know that was a thing where you... What, were they supposed to have a YouTube channel or something? But anyway. Young girl named Gabby Petito goes missing. And boyfriend comes back from their traveling the countryside in their RV or something. And then he hides in his parents' house for a while, then he escapes and he runs away. And then I think they said, oh yeah, we found his remains. He killed himself. Done and done. Your exciting story about a missing white girl has come to a close. And I saw this meme that had Alec Baldwin's picture. And it said, and just like that, everybody forgets about Gabby Petito. I was like, yeah, no kidding. But that whole thing seems so sketchy. It just... I mean, if you don't believe in fake news, and I hate to use that term because it triggers people. What, like Trump said? That's never mind Trump. But is it possible that the news occasionally has actors playing a part, making up a fake story? The whole thing is scripted on like a movie set. And a guy comes out and pretends to be sad. Yeah, my little girl just got shot. And they're like, can we try that again? Okay. And action. My baby got shot. Okay, that one's better. All right, thank you. You know. Sometimes I think they have fake news just to keep us tuned in. You know. I don't trust it. I don't trust anything I see or hear. You're paranoid, man. I must be paranoid. Paranoid. Paranoia may destroy ya. What's going on down here? Cameras on motorcycles. Oh, I love that. When you see it from like the GoPro point of view. Motorcyclists are so cool, and I'm so scared of them. I would never get on a motorcycle. Really? Oh, man. Terrifying. I saw a guy wipe out on a motorcycle once, and I've been afraid of motorcycles ever since, even though I think they're cool. But this guy was just driving around on a dirt road, couldn't have been going faster than 30 miles an hour. Tipped over. I pulled up, and the whole side of his face was all ripped up. He was all whatever. It's terrifying. I drove off. Then I came back. I was like, what? It scared me. Really? Yeah. And I told myself, whatever you do, don't get on one of those motorcycles. You might crash. But so I'll just watch videos on YouTube of other people having fun. Yeah. You know what really gets me angry for a weird reason? What's that? When I see those bloggers who like climb to the top of skyscrapers or, do something really dangerous. And then they look down and it's so freaky to see somebody climb way up there. But then something in my gut goes, you jackass. You're going to fall trying to do this. That's so stupid. It's like makes me angry. Quit risking your life for this dumb thing. I guess I'm concerned for them, but man, it really bugs me sometimes. Like, would you cut it out? Something kind of satisfying about seeing a hardcore parkour guy fall to his death. It's like, yeah, see, that's what you get, dummy. Jumping around. You're not Spider-Man. That's a comic book. Hey, Michael Scott Werner's here. Bonjour, Michael Scott Werner. Michael's back, sweetie. Well, hi, Michael. How you doing? I always thought if we had a female daughter, we could name her Michael after Michael Lyons, but then spell it the Michael way. Michael Scott Werner way. Yeah, I know. It's cool. Also known as Idius Kelvin. I get so confused. We got so many viewers now. And for some reason, the BOOZHOO crew is constantly changing their names. That actually, we probably don't have as many members of the BOOZHOO crew that I feel like we have. Because they keep changing their names. Yeah, it's like the same 5 people, but with 3 different names apiece. Yeah. Welcome back. It's nice to see you. We were just learning about Ojibwe language and culture. Did you know it was going to be cold tomorrow? We Gisana Wabung tomorrow. Gisana. Gisana. It's going to be cold. And then we means it in the future. We. Think about there's gi and we. Gi is the past. We, like the video game thingy called the Wii. If that's still a thing. I don't even know. The we is the future. We are the future, sweetie. Don't get me started on we are the world. Yeah, we already talked about that. We are the world. Anyway, so. Hey, sweetie. Yeah? You want to take a phone call? Well, I don't see why not. On line 2? Yeah. Hello, caller. Welcome to the BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO podcast. You're on the air. You have insulted me for the last time, NANABOOZHOO. Hey, Alec Baldwin. Sweetie, it's that murderer, Alec Baldwin. Well, hi, Alec. How you doing? Hello, Natasha. Your boyfriend is a little pig. No, he's not. He's my sweetheart. God, baby. What's your problem? How dare you make fun of the thing that happened that I'm not responsible for? You mean shooting 2 people with 1 gun? 1 bullet? That was not my fault. I encouraged the sheriff's department to look into how that bullet got on the set. It wasn't even supposed to be on the property. It wasn't supposed to be on the property. I don't know why you guys even have real guns. Why don't you just use a toy gun? They look just like real guns. No, that's what I'm saying. I never pulled the trigger. Well, yeah, but you shot him. You pulled back the hammer or something, right? No, it wasn't my fault. It was the gun's fault. I've been saying for years guns are dangerous. And now, look what happened. Not even my fault. Somebody put a live round in a gun, and then the gun just went off without even my shooting it. I know all about gun safety. Believe me, I know gun safety. Yeah, I don't really believe anything you say. You also said your wife was from Spain. Well, she's from, the kind of Spanish part of Pennsylvania. No, she's not. Okay, never mind. But it wasn't my fault. It's the gun's fault. Yeah, well, I think good news for you is they're never going to put you in jail. Oh, that's a relief. I don't know if I would enjoy jail too much. No, I don't think you would either. But, you're rich and famous. And, I don't know. The laws don't really apply to the one percenters like yourself, I don't think.
Well, again, it wasn't my fault. We have to find who's responsible.
Okay. Anyway. So you don't like me making fun of you? Is that why you called in?
Well, I don't want you making fun of it. She was my friend. I really liked her. I didn't want to kill her.
Yeah, I'm sure you didn't. You're just stupid.
Yeah. But also, I want to learn the Ojibwe language.
You want to learn Ojibwe?
Yeah. How do you say Saturday in Ojibwe?
Well, funny you should ask. In Ojibwe, we call Saturday the floor washing day. And we call it Gazibigi Saganagay, or Saginagay, Gijagud.
Gazibigi Saginagay Gijagud. Floor washing day. Someone had to wash the floor after I shot those 2 people on the set of Rust.
Yeah, I suppose there was some cleanup. But again, that wasn't your fault?
No. I didn't even pull the trigger.
Yeah. Okay. So, what's in the future for you?
Well, I was thinking about doing some more interviews where I don't take any responsibility for my actions. Maybe go on Oprah.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that interview you did with George Snuffleupagus or whatever his name was.
Yeah, he's a leprechaun,
Yeah, he sure is little. But what happened to you? It looked like you've aged about 10 years in the last couple of weeks.
I've been under an enormous amount of stress. You have no idea.
Yeah. His old bags under his eyes. He looked just gross. It was just nasty.
Maybe he should get some plastic surgery.
Gonna get some plastic surgery on your eyes in the future? I mean, assuming you don't go to jail for murder.
Well, if I don't go to jail, maybe I'll have to get a facelift.
Yeah, gotta do something. Anyway, anything else I can do for you today, Alec?
No, that's quite enough, I think. I'm gonna go off and not shoot anybody today if I can help it.
Yeah, try not to shoot anybody today and count that as a win.
All right. Hey, Nanaboozhoo, how do you say goodbye in Ojibwe?
Well, we don't really say goodbye. We say, I will see you again. Or, Gigawaba Min, Minawa.
Gigawaba Min, Minawa.
Yep. Gigawaba Min, Minawa. Alec the Baldwin. Oh, I forgot to tell him to say hi to his brothers.
Yeah, I know. His brothers are starting to look a lot better in comparison, huh?
Yeah, remember there was a time when Alec Baldwin was like the good brother of the Baldwin boys? And all the other ones were kind of jokes. And there was like that one Christian guy nobody really even liked. And now, Alec is like the worst one. And the other Baldwin boys are, say what you will about them. At least they never murdered anybody.
Yeah, huh?
But give him the chair, I say. Dr. Evils is back. Mino Giga Jabe Gaia. Gaia. Hello. Good morning, Dr. Evils. And I'm heaven. In heaven, there's no Alec Baldwin. But there will be Iron City beer. It's going to be a beer in heaven, sweetie.
Oh, it's going to be the best beer ever, for sure.
Yeah, imagine. Think we'll start drinking again when we go to heaven?
I hope so. Because I don't think there's any hangovers in heaven.
Yeah. I picture there being a lot of wine drinking in heaven. And I guess I'm picturing, those old paintings. I also want someone to feed me with grapes.
You're just picturing Roman emperors.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm picturing. Jessica says, I'm good. Finally moved out of the house. Oh, Jessica's been in moving mode. Oh, you poor thing. What a relief. Now I'm surrounded by boxes, but at least there's not a looming deadline to get them unpacked. Yeah, that's the first big hurdle when you're moving. The first thing is packing up your stuff. You get started with the move, you're all optimistic. Like, you know what? I don't really have that much stuff. I'm going to get some boxes. I'm even going to invest in some of those plastic things. I'm going It's a good excuse to throw out some of the stuff and we'll pack up our things and move. And you think it's going to take like 2 or 3 hours, max. I'm going to put on an album and pack up our stuff. 3 days later, you're still packing up, going, well, how did this happen? Finally, and then you rent a U-Haul, do all that. Then it's the next big thing is loading up the U-Haul, getting your stuff there, and then dumping it all in the new place. Now, you got to go back to the old place and continue cleaning. Now you can clean because there's no stuff in there. And you got to, if you're responsible, not like me and Alec Baldwin, you paint, you shampoo the rug. Me and Alec Baldwin, we don't take responsibility. I just bug out of houses. Sorry, landlord, if you watch this. When we move, I'll be packing up my stuff and walking away. I assume I would never get my deposit back, so I make no effort. The next people who move in will be like, how come this place looks totally dirty and nobody even vacuumed before they left? Yeah, well, I left you some stuff too. Things I didn't want anymore. As I walked away from this problem called my old living apartment or whatever it was. I hate moving so much. Missy says, morning. I didn't get a notification, so I'm late. Don't look at me. Your beef is with Mark Zuckerberg or whoever runs YouTube. Bill Gates. Anthony Fauci, I don't know. One of those weirdos. I know, cuz. We're all on Indian time, says Zagame. We're all on Indian time. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-dum. Hong Kong Phooey. That's that classic, like, cartoony Indian, like Asian people, they got na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Yeah. Indians have Don't, 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 no, 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 no. What do black people have? You're gonna get in trouble. Well, Jewish people have their Jewish thing when they have that party when they become men. You mean yeah. What is the Jewish song? I don't know. Racial stereotypes. So dangerous. You cannot make racial stereotypes. That's not funny. There's no room for stereotyping people based on... What do you want? You want to be a racist? Racism is so bad. Today, on a BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO, we're fun. This is the subject for today's talk. Racism. We're going to undo racism today. We are? Yep. Hi. Did you know your ancestors were racists? Yeah. Huge racists. Nobody likes to talk about it, but Sitting Bull, racist. Crazy Horse, racist. Even Chief Seattle, a racist. And you say, NANABOOZHOO, how dare you say that? My ancestors were not racists. We were proud Anishinaabe. Okay, take it easy. The term racist was coined by Colonel Elcott Pratt, or General Pratt, or whatever he was. The dude who came up with the original boarding schools, Native American boarding school. Maybe we'll talk about this on Monday. Yeah. He came up with the term racist to mean Indian people who didn't want to assimilate. He said there are still a number of Native Americans. He didn't call them Native Americans. He probably called them Injuns or something. A number of the red-skinned savages who want to maintain their cultural and racial ways. These racists do not want to let their children go to boarding school. They are racists. Later on, people would take that term to mean anybody who's, stereotypes. I mean, it's lost all meaning. Now if you voted for Trump, you're racist. What? How does that make me racist? You voted for somebody who somehow condoned somebody else who condoned whatever. People think I'm a racist because I like Adolf Hitler. What do you mean you like Adolf Hitler? Okay, I don't like Adolf Hitler. I mean, I got nothing personal against him, but I like his paintings. You know? Can we get Adolf on the phone? Yeah, sure. Let me call him up. If you're new to the show, from time to time we talk about art. We used to have this thing on Tuesday. We still do once in a while. Called Dig If You Will, a Picture Tuesdays. Where we would look at pictures of, not just pictures, but like paintings, great art. And stumbled across, little known fact is Adolf Hitler was a painter. Okay, it's ringing. You got Hitler's phone? Yep. Hello? Hi, may I speak with Adolf Hitler, please? Oh, this is Adolf. Hi, this is Natasha. How you doing? Oh, I'm pretty good. Say, do you want to be on the show this morning? Okay, hang on. NanaBOOZHOO wants to talk to you. I'm going to transfer you. All right, please hold. All right, sweetie, he's on line 2. On line 2. Adolf, welcome back to the show.
Jawohl. Hello, NanaBOOZHOO. How are you, my friend?
Take it easy with the friend stuff. People are going to get mad at me.
Oh, and I was watching your show. It's so lovely. You want to share my paintings with your viewers of BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO.
Yeah. Do you think it's racist of me to appreciate your paintings?
No, that's ridiculous. Everybody wants to call everybody else a racist. You know, I have half a mind to start my own YouTube show and talk about racism. Did you know that the Jew, he's actually white?
What are you talking about?
I mean, it's not exactly a racial identity. It's a religion.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I never understood that, really. Did you understand it, really?
You know, no. And now that I am talking about it, I kind of wish I hadn't started it.
Yeah. Let's talk about something else. Can we talk about one of your paintings?
Yes, please.
Okay. This is an Adolf Hitler painting, right? I think I showed this before. It's a lovely winter scene. And just extraordinary architectural, you know, it's just almost perfection. Adolf, what was your thinking behind this?
Well, you know, I always found winter to be so beautiful. Even in the grayness of a city, after a lovely snow, I just thought it was beautiful. I wanted to share my love of winter.
Okay. I'm screwing this all up. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, so Hitler, are you with me? I'm gonna undo some racism today.
Yes, I will not stand for racism. Racism must be wiped out entirely.
Okay, I'm gonna get out of this because it's going nowhere. Gigawaba min, minawa, Adolf.
Gigawaba min, minawa.
Sweetie?
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't think through bits very well.
I know, that's the problem with doing a live show.
Yeah. Hey, what's this? Just training videos? Well, BOOZHOO, just training. Peaches and paint. Or oranges and paint. Right on. Welcome to the show. We're going to talk about racism today. What is racism? In the old days, racism was, you know, enslaving another group based on their race, or killing other people based on their race. Now it's kind of a way to shut people up. Justification for censorship. You can call anybody and any thought racist. It's even racist to say this. Playing the race card. Oh, you're going to play the race card? What a racist thing to say. There is no such thing. Unless we're talking about if you belong to a certain race that's not European, pretty much European, or Scandinavian, Russian, Italian, whatever. People can sometimes let you say stupid stuff. Like sometimes I say, we've had George Floyd as a guest, and I've made fun of George Floyd getting killed. That's pretty dark. And I think if Donald Trump made some jokes about having George Floyd say getting arrested by the Minneapolis police was a pain in the neck, that he would have, they would have canceled his show. Because we speak Ojibwe, and I've got a braid in my hair, and I go on and on about, the ancestors. At least the white liberals kind of give me a pass. Nobody really yells at me for Indian people. It's impossible to insult them. That's one thing that a lot of people don't really know about, like reservation Indians. They're not nearly as touchy as people think. Nobody's really offended by the Washington Redskins. Oh no, they're fighting Sioux. We're so mad. It's typical for like a reservation Indian to make some really pretty, what would they call it? It's not like racist jokes. I mean, I guess like literally they would be racist jokes. But it's mostly Indian people love to make jokes that are not sanctioned, that are sort of dangerous, that are kind of, it's like sexual harassment in the workplace. It is rampant in Indian country because nobody really means it. It's just like being teasing. And I remember, here's a story. I used to work in Onigum, a little village outside of Walker, Minnesota, on the Leech Lake Indian Reservation. And every year, a group of people from New York City, they weren't even from, I'm going to say Korea, but they were Korean-speaking Americans. But for some reason, a group from New York City who came to the reservation once a year as a goodwill effort to meet real Indians or something. I don't know what it was. But they would come and like play with the kids and bring gifts. And, people from Onigum would come out and have a picnic or something with this group of Korean people from New York City on a big bus. They come every year and bring stuff, So they show up. And I've got my little summer program, so I got all these little kids and stuff. And, we're teaching them how to play kickball. Oh, and they barely speak English is the other thing. That was the weird part. So I think they were newly Americans. I don't know where they're from, but they hardly spoke any English, and we spoke no Korean. And we spent the day with them. We can become pen pals, the little kids, But then as soon as they leave, all the jokes come out. It's like, well, there goes the Japaneses, Jokes about, Kung Fu, Hong Kong Fooey, the, ancient Chinese secret. There were just tons of, all the Indians were just biting their tongues, waiting to say and also is it totally rude to make racial jokes about these kind Korean people who traveled so far just to meet us and give us gifts. and people couldn't do anything except make hilarious, like stereotypical jokes. Me Chinese, me pay a joke. Me visit Onigum and drink some Coke. I don't know, maybe you have to be there. I think you have to be there. System of control. BOOZHOO system of control. Welcome back to the show. Tommy doesn't know what Adolf is. Is Tommy your kid? I was surprised when I worked in a high school. The seniors in the high school I worked at had never heard of Adolf Hitler. I'm like, what? You guys are graduating in a year. You don't know who Adolf Hitler is? And there was even this one girl. It was during an election, and she pulled me aside. She goes, "Can I ask you a question?" Yeah, go ahead. She goes, "Is Trump like the president of the world now?" I was like, "No, just about the United States of America." But way to pay attention in social studies. You know what else I used to do in that school? What? They would make every kid in the entire school, it was a middle school, high school, on Wednesdays watch CNN. Why? Because CNN had some sort of weird indoctrinating TV programming for students. And I think there was some sort of government agreement. Like if we would take a certain grant dollars, but in exchange we had to promise that we would make all the kids during homeroom watch CNN on Wednesdays. A full half-hour TV show in the school, part of the curriculum. There would even be worksheets sometimes, see if you learned something from CNN News for kids. And it would always be like updates on what NASA's doing and global warming stuff. And then some obscure news story about some other country that me as a grown man, I couldn't understand what they were talking about. What is this now? CNN is just the worst news coverage in the world. But we made the kids watch it every Wednesday for their programming. And I eventually found myself telling the kids that, it's like, no, NASA, that's not real. That's government propaganda. They fake everything. They never went to the moon. People get mad. I could get fired for saying this. That's how you know it's a psyop. But there's no evidence for them, Because kids now, you show them like the videos of the Apollo 11 moon landing, and it's like obviously the technology and science, special effects is so bad. None of the kids believe it. They go, "What? Yeah, that guy's on a wire, obviously. This is a green screen?" It's like, no, yes, it is a green screen, but they're saying it's man driving a dune buggy on the moon. They also say the moon is hundreds of thousands of miles away and a round rock and outer whatever. Did you ever tell them about flat Earth? I think there was one class where I showed them some flat Earth YouTube videos. Every once in a while, we just kind of go, "Okay, today in Ojibwe, who's got any YouTube videos they want to share with the class?" It'll be show and tell. And I would just play YouTube videos. Here, look at this. That's when I learned about Billie Eilish. Really? Yeah, one of the kids was like, "Oh, I love Billie Eilish. Watch this." I was like, wow. I think I lost part of my soul watching a Billie Eilish video. It's like, this is disturbing. I can't watch Billie Eilish. Anyway, sweetie, did you want to get up here? You want me to go up there and say hi to the BOOZHOO crew? Yeah, sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let Natasha get up here. But first, here's a song by Michael Lyons, the rock star cartoonist, about a different girl called Natasha. Yeah, this is Natasha. And miigwech, biz, and dawieg. Thank you for listening.
I'm ready whenever you are.
Oh, okay. Let me just grab my guitar here.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Today we're just gonna do one song, and Michael wrote it, and it's called Natasha. Who knew? Go ahead.
I never meant one word, I never meant one word, I never meant one word I said. I never meant one word, I never meant one word, I never meant one word I said. Now you're my one, and you're my only regret. I never meant one word, I never meant one word, I never meant one word I said. And I lost my job just the other day. And like everybody else, well, I've got a mountain of bills that need to be paid. Then I lost my way, now I don't know which way to go. But the wind may blow and the grass may grow. For all we know, it just might snow. And what'll I do? What'll we become when the day is over and the night's begun? What'll I do about me and you? I told you before, we aren't so through. But I never meant one word, I never meant one word, I never meant one word I said. I never meant one word, I never meant one word, I never meant one word I said. And I'm so sorry, I never treat you like that again. I never meant one word, I never meant one word, I never meant one word I said. Sit up at night just so I could watch ya. And I wrote on my bedroom wall, Michael loves Natasha. But I never meant one word, I never meant one word, I never meant one word I said. I never meant one word, I never meant one word, I never meant one word I said. But I'm so sorry, I'd never treat you like that again. I never meant one word, I never meant one word, I never meant one word I said. Wow, that's a sad song.
Bonjour, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to support the show, if you would like to support BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO, the podcast about Ojibwe language and culture, you can click in the links below. You can click the link to Patreon, to PayPal, to GoFundMe. And you can order Ojibwe language books by Lyons by clicking the link to Amazon.com. But only if you believe. If you believe in Amazon.com. Many people say they've seen Amazon.com out here, Akuching. They say, oh, I've seen the footprints of Amazon.com. I do not know. I do not know. I'm not really into conspiracy theories. You know? I think if it were real, the mainstream media would tell us. That's what they do. That's their job. Who am I? I am Sabbe. I am Sasquatch. I am Bigfoot. Goyakwa Dizzy-Win. I am known for honesty and integrity. No, I don't know. Anyway, if you'd like to support the show, why don't you support the show already? You can click the link below. And now, miigwech, miigwech, miigwech. I tell you thank you 3 times. That means I really mean it.
Hey, hey, mama, say the way you move, wanna make you smile. Hey, everybody, this is Natasha. Natasha Dindish in the cause. Not the Natasha that Michael sings breakup songs about. Nah, it's a different chick. Sunny day. How you doing, everybody? Oh, I'm so happy to be back with the BOOZHOO crew. What are we talking about today? Bigfoot? Well, Bigfoot wants you to buy some books. Yeah. Oh, we're talking about racism. Yeah. What do you have to say about racism? Don't be a racist. But also, I'm not going to tell you what to think or believe. How about that? You know. It's kind of like being a... What were we talking about the other day? Where you just have to play along. It's like, you either support this thing or you're a transphobe. Oh, you're afraid of transgender people? Are you transphobic? Are you anti-LGBTQ? You know, it's like, you're just coming up with these terms. You know? It's like, I just saw a news program where in California schools now, there's no longer boys and girls rooms. There's boys plus and girls plus. This way, if you identify as a girl, you can go poop next to real biological girls. What's the worst thing that can happen? I think we all know the worst thing that can happen. Well, yeah, it actually will happen. But if you don't go along with that and you say, what? No, I don't want some weirdo pooping next to my daughter. What do you have, transphobe? It's like, what? No, you're a weirdo. I mean, if you want to call me somebody who doesn't accept weirdos, that's a thing. Okay, sorry. But, yeah, no. Well, I don't know. Racist. Racism. Well, here's the other thing. Fighting racism. It's a foregone conclusion that everyone's on the same page that, number one, it's a problem. It's like, don't you want to stop global warming? It's like, is that even happening? Because it's a high of 1 degree tomorrow. So are you anti-global or whatever? Like, you know, depending on who you are, there's a perception of just how racist is America. You know. We at least live in a country that believes we're so racist that millionaire gay actors like Jussie Smollett will just get lynched. Everyone believed that. They're like, yeah, that's the kind of people we are in Chicago. It's like a cast member of Empire Boulevard or whatever his show was called. Was it just Empire? It might just be Empire. What is Boardwalk Empire? I don't know. That might be a movie. Whatever TV show Jussie Smollett was on. Most people were quick to believe him. It's like, yeah, that seems to add up. I bet you millionaire TV stars get racially accosted all the time in the gay district of the upscale neighborhoods in Chicago. Because this stupid country is so racist. Did you know it was so racist? They wouldn't even let Barack Obama run a third time. Bunch of racists. Sure, everyone voted him in and loved him for 8 years. But this country's racist, man. It's like, compared to what? Norway? You ever see a black guy in Norway? They treat him like King Kong. It's like, whoa, what is that? So I don't know. In my personal sheltered experience in America, which mostly consists of rural northern Minnesota, I lived in Duluth, Minnesota, which is the largest city I've ever lived in. What was that, 100,000? Or was it 1 million? I have no idea. See, that's how small town I am. I don't even know what the populations are. But in what is usually kind of stereotyped as, there's the deep south, rural south, that's super racist, even though that's where all the black people are. Or way up north in Minnesota, bunch of racist. I don't know. I have friends who say, yeah, this town's so racist. And I'm like, where are you going that you meet all these racist people? I've never met one. At least against Indians. Let's narrow it to that. In Bemidji, Minnesota, I want to go on the record. I can't remember ever being like on the receiving end of what I could call like a racist interaction with someone. You dirty Anishinaabe. Someone called me a knob once, but it was, I was at a party with this person and they weren't really angry. They just mentioned that something negative about the knobs. And I go, what's a knob? And she goes, the Anishinaabe. I went, oh, you know the word Anishinaabe? That's pretty good. And she had shortened it to knob, and it sounded kind of racist-ish. But as far as like cops being mean to Indian people, no, not to me. I've never been followed around in a store. Whoa. I mean, it's not like there are rednecks. For sure there are rednecks. Guys who are uneducated, uncouth, do not use politically correct terms. So yeah, okay. My great-grandfather, or great-grandfather, whatever, had a horse named... he wasn't named Arnold Schwarzenegger, but take away Arnold and Schwarza, and that was his name. So, is that evidence of racism in northern Minnesota? I guess. But who cares? So yeah, I'm going to undo racism by pointing out maybe some of the successes. But the thing is, in the 80s, people were less concerned, talked about racism way less than they do now. People act like 40 years later it's worse to be a non-white person in America than it was in the 1980s. So I don't know. I guess I'm a bad person to talk about this stuff. I got no myth. Doesn't seem that bad. Yeah, everything's fine, you guys. I'm tired of all the gloom, doom, and despair, maybe. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to go outside and put out some tobacco and just think. Get your man to do for a change. Yeah, okay. I'm going to teleport outside, put out some Asema. Do I have any here? Here we go. Asema. Tobacco. Sweetie, would you teleport me?
You got it. Let me just lock on your coordinates.
Okay.
And let's see. 1 to teleport outside.
Make it so, number 1. Oh, it's just pretty out here. Asema. In the Anishinaabe way, as many of you already know, we sometimes give out a little tobacco offering. Some people say that smoke itself, like if you smoke in a pipe, will bring your prayers up to the Gitchimanadu, to the Great Spirit. Some people say when smoke goes up, the blessings come down. And it's the same with sage. Bushcote Ojibek. So, here's my tobacco. And I'm going to say, accept my tobacco, Great Spirit. Odapanan niwi asema Gitchimanadu. Accept my tobacco, Great Spirit. Gitchimanadu. Miigwech kaiji bamadazian. Thank you for this life. Gitchimanadu. Miigwech kakina geku kaiji chikean nungum. Thank you for everything that you do today. As far as, inspiring me, healing my body, making it snow or whatever. Everything that you do. All the blessings. Thank you for all of it. Gitchimanadu, thank you for keeping me afloat all these years. I mean, I know I had to hustle a little bit, but I've never gone to bed hungry. I mean, yeah, sometimes I've eaten saltines and peanut butter, but, saltines and peanut butter are pretty good when you're hungry. Nah. But I wouldn't appreciate my life now if it had been easier when I was younger. Thank you for keeping me from screwing up my life too irrevocably, I guess. All the mistakes I made weren't that big of a deal. And later on kind of served in teaching me a lesson or something. Thank you for my good health. I don't got the C word, and I'm not getting the V word. So I just pray that you'll protect me from evil. In Inanama, Wishanung, Mayanadak, Mayana, what is evil? Keep me from what is evil. Protect me. And, give me some wisdom, Nabwakawin, to keep from screwing up my life, I guess. Help me not to, get off the path. Don't let me get too lonely or too bored. Too much anxiety and have to go out partying or something. And I don't know, just thank you for everything. Thank you for the show. Thank you for the BOOZHOO crew. Thank you that you brought us to some place where we get to have a little community of people. If nothing else, just, know that we're alive. I really appreciate it. And ultimately, miigwech bizendawi egg. Thank you for listening. Gitchimanadu. Inge. Amen.
Oh, you're very welcome, me daughter.
Oh, hi, Gitchimanadu. Ladies and gentlemen, Great Spirit.
Hello, BOOZHOO crew.
What's going on?
Oh, I was just listening to your prayer, watching the show.
Yeah. Kind of a weird show today.
It looks like you didn't really put much thought into your show.
I know. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes we go, oh, we're going to do this funny thing, tell a story. And sometimes we just wing it. Today we're just kind of winging it.
Well, it's still fun watching you.
Yeah, huh? I better get back.
Okay, Nandonis. Okay, me daughter.
Yeah. I will see you again. Gigawabamin Minawa.
Gigawabamin Minawa, Nandonis.
And, yeah. Bloop.
Okay, BOOZHOO.
Hi, sweetie.
You all done?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to lock in on your coordinates and teleport you home.
Okay.
Hold still.
I will.
1 to teleport.
Make it so, number 1. Yeah.
Woof.
Hello, everyone. I hit the wrong camera. My name is Michael Lyons, and I'm the creator of BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO. And I wasn't planning on doing this, but since I'm here, before we close out the show, I want to thank you all for tuning in every day to BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO. This has been really fun. In addition to learning more Ojibwe than I would have without this show, I've learned a lot about telling stories and producing a show, and it's been really a lot of fun. I feel pretty stupid right now because I was not planning on doing this. This is what I look like behind the scenes. But yeah, so having said that, I'm just gonna, I want to say Miigwech Bizendawieg, thank you for listening, and Miigwech Ganawabieg, thank you for watching BOOZHOO NANABOOZHOO, a podcast about Ojibwe language and culture. I am Michael Lyons, this has been Natasha and NANABOOZHOO, and I will see you again. Gigawabamin, Minawa.